It's Joel.
The podcast.
Bzz. Hello, everybody. I'm Alex,
And I'm Alex.
and this is our podcast.
Joel.
Welcome to episode 133 of Joel the Podcast. I definitely wasn't stalling while I tried to pull up what episode it was. We're excited to have everyone here. I'm just now seeing that the previous episode is titled I Don't Have Eczema.
Yeah.
It's really funny how I just even the last episode, which was recorded like only a few weeks ago, I don't remember why it's called that at all.
Yeah, it's I don't have the full explanation, but
In fact,
surely I'll have to.
I now specifically remember a moment where I said, I guess I must have said I don't have eczema, and you said that's the title of the video, and have no memory of the context. That's really funny.
Yeah. No, that's roughly what I was about to say. That's all the context that I remember. So,
Yeah. Well, anyway, welcome to episode 133. I don't think either of us owes the other $1, right?
I don't think so. No.
Nice. With that out of the way, should we get to our sports minutes?
Sure, we got quite a bit of sports minutes, at least in things that I'm thinking of.
Well, why don't you kick us off then? Because I often drive the sports minute. What kind of sports do you want to talk about?
Sure. Well, I certainly don't want to talk about it, but I think it's only fair that we mention the literal apocalypse that is number one in the country, Indiana football, having advanced at this point to the semifinals of
Sounds
the
right to me. I haven't
playoffs.
been following it all at all.
Yeah.
I
Well,
heard my
good.
dad talking about it yesterday.
Yeah. It's you're not missing anything that is worth watching. It's truly a shame that it's happening at all. Um, I think that's all. We've acknowledged it. Don't make me
Yeah,
say any more about it.
I'm surprised you said anything about it.
Well, I think we need the karma for basketball season. You gotta
There
just
you
be
go.
like, you did it. Congrats. And now, yeah,
Have you been watching any of the basketball season?
I have not. I don't really have a good way to like watch live sports, which is the
Sure.
only downside of my viewing strategies, which may be why you tend to drive the sports minute
Mm-hmm.
if we're thinking
Mm-hmm.
about that.
Yeah, so you could illegally stream them.
I could if anyone wants to show me how to do crimes, because I'm a good guy. I have never ever illegally streamed anything. I genuinely don't know how to do it. You can go ahead and send me a tutorial encrypted in course to our
If you're a
email.
hacker, yeah, if you're a hacker.
Oh no, they're gonna send me a fake email. I'll never be able to trust it. It'll be like, all right, step one of finding an illegal stream: send 1 Bitcoin to this address.
Step one,
um,
download this software so I can watch and make sure you're doing it right.
Yeah, I'm gonna get hacked for sure because I will follow instructions to the letter of anything that's emailed to us in this
I feel
next
like that's
week.
one of the rules.
I don't remember the exact wording, but it must be. Anyway, if you're wondering what we're talking about, what I'm trying to say is email us this information, and you can find our email on our website, which is alexandalex at joelthepodcast.github.io/alexandalex at joelthepodcast.website/index.html. And then you can, if you're clever enough, find a link on there to email us. And that's how you send us an email. Please do that.
And if you do find that link, then that's how you know you're clever.
Exactly, yeah. You're not clever unless you can find us an email. Send us unless you can find a way to send us an email. Um, we're a little off the rails of the sports minutes. What else you got?
Okay, so I want to try something slightly different for the sport. I'm interested in trying different things for the Sports Minute because I've been listening to a
Whoa.
lot of episodes and I'm not that interested in the Sports Minute most of the time. Um, so, what I want to do today is just describe the game that the end of the game that I watched last night.
Okay.
And the reason I'm trying this is because in the future I don't think I'll remember this game because it's not that like it was a good game, but it wasn't the Eagles or anything like that.
Sure.
And but I feel like it might be interesting to hear kind of this crazy ending, even removed from the context of the season or whatever. So, this is Sunday Night Football: Ravens versus Steelers. Winner wins the division and makes the playoffs. Loser, season is over. And the Steelers have Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback this year, which is pretty crazy. So this portion of the game that I'm about to talk about starts with about 5 minutes left in the game. The Ravens are winning 17-13, and the Steelers have the ball and they're driving down the field to try to take the lead with a touchdown. And Aaron Rodgers' helmet stops work. Normally the quarterback hears the plays through a radio in his helmet, but his stopped working. So he couldn't hear the plays. He had to run over to the sideline to hear the plays, and he tried to get a new helmet, didn't work. It was crazy. And the reason I bring that up is because it caused them to use their timeouts. They had to use their timeouts during this drive in order to avoid losing a bunch of yards from penalties, so they could get all the plays. And eventually got the helmet fixed. They scored the touchdown, but they had no timeouts left. So they took the lead 20-17, kicked the ball back to the Ravens. At this point, there's a little under 3 minutes left, I think. The Ravens run 2 plays, I think. They get it down to third and inches, 3rd and 1, but really short one.
Right.
And they run a fake pitch play. Derrick Henry, who's their running back, has been running all over the Steelers the whole game. He's been doing very well. So they run this fake pitch play to Derrick Henry, but instead of actually pitching it to him, it's a pass play. And they run a deep crossing route with their best receiver, and the Steelers are caught totally off guard. Just runs right by all the defenders and catches it, 72-yard touchdown. The Ravens take the lead 24-20. And now there's about 2.5 minutes left. That literally took 20 seconds. So Steelers get the ball back. They pretty easily start driving down the field. And once they get to about the 30-yard line of the Ravens, they're 30 yards away from the end zone, a Ravens defender slips on a play, and it leaves the Steelers player wide open, catches for the touchdown. The Steelers take the lead, but they miss the extra point.
Oh.
So now it's 26-24 Steelers. If they made the extra point, then a field goal by the Ravens would only tie the game. But now a field goal by the Ravens wins the game. So they kick it back to the Ravens with about 55 seconds left. Keep in mind that there were only 3 touchdowns in this game in the first 3 2/3 of a quarter. And in the last 3 minutes here, there's been 3 touchdowns.
Right.
So the Ravens get the ball, 55 seconds left. They have 3 timeouts. All they have to do is drive down the field, run out the time, and kick the game-winning field goal. And on the kick return, the kick returner takes it all the way back to the 47-yard line, which means they're really close to field goal range already from the start of the drive.
Yeah.
First down, they run some play. Second down, they run some play. They don't have the first down. It's 3rd and 7. And on 3rd and 7, Lamar Jackson almost gets sacked. A 15-yard loss, but he just barely is able to chuck the ball out of bounds. And keep the drive alive. 4th and 7, game on the line. They have to get into field. They have to get a first down, otherwise they lose. There's 20 seconds left at this point. Throws the ball over the middle for a great catch by the receiver for a 20-yard pass to put them into field goal range. At that point, they just take a knee, run the clock down to 2 seconds, call timeout, bring out their kicker for the game-winning 44-yard field goal to win the division and make the playoffs. Shanks it right, misses it, and the Steelers win the game and make the playoffs.
Oof.
Just
I felt
a totally
that one
crazy
coming
ending.
for a little while there.
It was honestly like the missed extra point, it was a crazy ending. So anyway,
That's pretty brutal.
Hopefully that was interesting to listen to. It doesn't look like it was too long, so that's good.
Yeah, I checked. I think it was about 4 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
So
I'm happy with
not
that.
bad. Yeah.
Let's move on from the sports minutes and go to, did we receive any emails this week?
I would be a little surprised because I haven't actually published the last episode yet, but we'll take a look anyway. As is tradition, I'm going to open up that email from Shinohara Namiko that I told you about last time, if you remember.
Nope.
Yeah, it does not look like we've got any new emails, so that's great.
Perfect.
Continue
well, actually,
the
it's
episode.
not great, but yeah, we get to move on with the episode. Exactly. So, okay, so this episode is inspired by the fact that, like I mentioned, I've been listening to some of our older episodes, and essentially I noticed that we, what is this? Interesting. So I listened to the episode where we redid Joel the Game. Like, we had some original set of rules. It caused a whole bunch of problems. So we had an episode where we were like, what if we we changed the rules?
Right.
And ever since then, we've been using those rules, like the second edition rules, you might call them. And so I thought, and in the episode, I could be remembering, it's been a few weeks now since I listened to it, but I think we said something like, oh, let's just try it and see how it works out, right? Try these rules and see how they work out. And obviously they've worked out pretty well, but I think the idea was we would like evaluate them, and I don't think we've ever sat down and said, you know, what's good about the current way things happen and what's bad about it and what could be changed. So I thought it might be fun to take an episode and talk about Joel the Game, the rules, the different mini games we have, and see if we think there's any improvements we can make or changes we want to make. And maybe we'll just think that it's perfect and it'll be a really boring episode, but I think it's at least worth worth a shot. What's your thought about the overall idea of the episode?
I like the idea of the episode. I'm suddenly imagining that this is just like 40 minutes of us going like, man, this is so good. You're the best at this. But actually, I do think, just kind of like offhand, I have just like general vibes about some of the things that we do. And maybe it won't result in changes. I don't know. Maybe we'll just like accept that there are some shortcomings, but who knows? Maybe we'll have some good ideas. Maybe we'll come up with something fresh and exciting. Only one way to find out. So where do you want to begin?
Let's start at the I see you have this document of it. So let's start at the top of the document here where it says, next time we play this, we should come up with some ideas for each game before we start, so we don't have to spend time thinking of things on the spot. Now, we've obviously never done this.
Right.
So my question is, do you think it's a problem that we've never done this and we should start doing it, or it's fine?
So I think this is a really good idea because I haven't gotten to the point in the re-listening where I've listened to one of the new game rules, Joel the Game. So this may not be entirely accurate, but my feeling in the moment and thinking back to episodes we've done is that the weakest part of Joel the Game is the fact that it's not like all action, basically. There's like downtime while we're thinking of stuff. And if we could move from thing to thing, even if it's moving from like, you know, listening to Wikipedia Hunt for a while, which I don't know how interesting that actually is, to listening to us try and play Hangman, which I don't know how interesting that is. But but you know what I mean, right? There's no like time in the middle where it's like, all right, what movie am I going to think of for Guess the Movie?
Sure. Okay, so maybe my opinion of this is it seems like a good idea. I don't think it's been like a big deal that we haven't done it. Like I don't remember listening. I guess I've only listened to one episode with the new rules, but I don't remember listening to one where it was like, oh, this is so boring listening to me try and think of a topic for Price is Right but not Prices.
Sure.
So my thought is, yeah, it's a good thing to do. I don't think it's a huge deal, but all right. So let's say we'll try and do this the next time. Maybe I'll really highlight this in the document in a way that we can't ignore.
Yeah, make the font a little bit bigger too. Right about there. That's pretty satisfying. Can we justify that maybe? Ooh, you've made it a little bit onto the next line.
Oh, did I not highlight it, or did you remove the highlight?
There we go.
There you go.
I may have accidentally removed the highlight. All right, so here's my other thought on this topic is that for tongue twisters and quick memorize, we have links, and we just go to the same place. We always do Journey to the Center of the Earth or whatever it is, and we always go and just like scroll randomly on that tongue twisters page. Is there an equivalent for these other things that we could do?
Well, first,
for the ones where it's relevant, I guess.
Sure. Well, before we discuss that, let's discuss whether it's good that we are doing basically the same thing every time for those or not.
Yeah.
Like, would it be more interesting if we weren't going to Journey to the Center of the Earth every... Okay, so let's take them separately because I think they're kind of different.
Sure.
So, for quick memorize first, like, is it good that we're going to the same book, essentially, in just a random chapter within the book, or not? Actually, you know what? Sorry, the reason I stopped is because this is leading me to want to talk about like my opinion of quick memorize in general, and I feel like I want to go through the games one at a time, like in an order, rather than just like so randomly bouncing around.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, basically.
Yes.
All right.
Because yeah.
Let's just go back to the top then. We've emphasized sufficiently coming up with some ideas in advance.
Yes.
Whatever method we end up choosing to do that, I think we're going to do it, and it'll be good.
Right.
It'll be a good experiment at least.
Now yes, yeah, you highlighted it, so go ahead.
Yeah, if it's your turn, you're the guesser is the next thing written here, and I think this is morphed a bit into for some of these mini games we each do a turn coming up with a thing and guessing, and then the like relative effectiveness of the guessing is how we judge versus did the guesser get it or not. Is that your thoughts to talk about this also, or do you have different?
Yes. Well, so for
angle?
Like to me, like the gold standard is something like Price is Right but Not Prices, where we are both guessing at the same time essentially, and whoever's closer wins. I like that it's not asymmetric where it's like one person's guessing and the other person's not. Like so the other version of it is like Guess the Movie where we each do a movie and then we each guess it.
Right.
It's just not as like clean or nice because you're basically playing two games of Guess the Movie just with swapped roles.
Right.
So I guess I agree that we essentially want to eliminate this rule of it's your turn. If it's your turn, you're the guesser. We really don't want to have, like an asymmetric game like that, in my opinion. And I think we do right now. We have, I don't remember, but I think the 10 questions is asymmetric in that way. The movie True or False is asymmetric in that way. Is Hangman? I don't remember if we both do Hangman or not.
No, I think Hangman is asymmetric.
Family Feud is asymmetric. Okay, so there's a lot of asymmetric things, more than I thought. So maybe I don't know, what's your opinion? Do you think it's good that we have these asymmetric games, or would it be better to make them symmetric, or what do you think?
The thing is, so gut feel is that I like the idea of symmetric games also, but I don't know that any of those are bad games.
Well, right, I agree. So like I'm not saying we should remove them necessarily. I'm just saying like for a movie True or False, we would come up with some way to make it I guess that one's hard to make symmetric because like what if you both get it right? Like that's but like, you know, like Hangman, you could easily just be like who can get it right in fewer. You don't have a limit of wrong guesses. It's just who can get it right with fewer wrong guesses.
Do you think there's some way we could do it like Wheel of Fortune style, where we're both guessing letters on the same word or phrase, and there are like turns that we pass if we get stuff wrong? Or
I
would you rather just
I
do like
don't think
back
that
to
would be
back
good. The
hangmans?
reason being, you'd have a huge advantage by going first. Well, actually, it
Yeah.
depends on what it is. Also, who would pick the and tell us what was right and what was wrong.
That was a challenge for later. I was just
Okay.
trying to like, is that a good idea that we would think about how we could do that? And it sounds like maybe the answer is no, because either we're playing a full like 10-minute Wheel of Fortune event,
Right.
or and I think one of the strengths of Joel the game is that each of these mini games is relatively short,
Sure.
and none of them have an outsized effect on the result of the game
Right.
overall.
Okay. So I guess our conclusion here is, if as much as possible, we want to make it symmetric, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so then let's just briefly talk about movie true or false. I know it's not like in order, but that one's basically impossible to make symmetric in a nice way. So either we could leave it as asymmetric, or we
Mhm.
could like change it out. What do you think about that one?
I think we should change something. And I think actually, to be honest, movie True or False is probably one of my least favorite
Agree, and
games.
I think it's I agree that's one we should change. For that reason, I also think it's too similar to guess the movie. Like there's too much in common between the two.
Yeah,
So I think maybe we should change this if we can. So let's highlight it at least.
sure.
Okay. Are there any other asymmetricity issues? For Hangman, I think the idea that I just suggested is actually better, where we each do a Hangman. You have unlimited guesses, but whoever gets it in fewer wrong guesses wins.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Are you gonna make that change? You seem to have
Yeah,
that text
I will
selected.
do that. Do we want to keep? Well, I guess we need to keep a word size requirement. 6 letters or fewer. Limited guesses. Both players come up with a word.
Okay. Um, all right. So I think that's the only other. I think that everything else is. Oh, Family Feud
Family
here.
Feud, we would have to do the same way. So it could be the same thing. Unlimited guesses, fewest to name two of the top five wins.
See, that one's trickier because the category that you pick makes such a big variance. Like that, I feel like it would almost always
Yeah,
be
we would.
decided by just whoever picked a harder category.
Here's what we could do: is pick a category, not look up the right answers. Both of us make a
Oh,
list of 5 things or 10 things or something, and whoever has more of the top 5 or 10 correct.
yeah, that's a great idea. I like that. Okay, so um, Family Feud. So we'll say, um, let's say we'll each come up with, well, let's say five. So
So
out of
here's an alternative that maybe makes the scoring a little cleaner and generates a definitive winner every time.
mm-hmm,
Is each of your guesses gets a point value of the order that it's in the list,
mm-hmm.
and your goal is to have 3 guesses with the minimum score, right? So the perfect score is 6 with 1, 2, 3,
Yes. Okay. I think that's good.
and
And
you
that
almost
does.
certainly
Yeah.
will have a better score between the two of us, and if we happen to tie, then whoever's got the best average or something. I don't know how the math would work out, but
Well, if we
there's
have the
probably
same
some.
score, then we'll have the same average because it's the same number of guesses.
Yes, true. What am I trying to say then?
What if
The the lowest minimum maybe is the tiebreaker.
like the best whoever had the best guess?
The best guess,
The
yeah.
problem is, what if that's also a
That's a much
tie?
better way to. If that's also a tie, then you check the second guess. If that's also a tie, check the third guess. If we came up with the same 3 things, I don't know. How many contingencies do
I
we
was gonna
need?
say I'd rather just have some tiebreaker that's guaranteed to work. Basically, like if you look at the movie one, the
Yeah,
tiebreaker is just like guessing the budget, which is like always basically always gonna break the tie.
sure.
Um,
Should we say more than three guesses then, just to make the odds so small that we would come up with the same like five things or the same 10 things?
I actually really like three guesses. I feel like that's a good number because it's like a nice
Sure.
bite-sized thing. Um, Minimum score of three guesses. To me, I feel like the reason we can't come up with a one is because it depends upon what we're guessing. But
Yeah.
I think in the moment it could be easy to just come up with a numerical guess based on whatever the topic is. So like if we were picking movies, maybe the tiebreaker is just whatever the number one movie is, guess the how much it made in the box office. Or if we were whatever the category is, we can somehow figure it out a number to guess essentially as the tiebreaker.
Yeah. That sounds good. I think that should generally work. One thing I want to specify, or I guess ask you which way we should specify this. When you're coming up with three guesses, do you just list three things in no particular order, or you say this is what I think the highest one is, then this, then this?
Well,
Like, does that account for scoring at all?
based on the scoring system you've provided, I don't think that it would make sense for that to be taken
Okay.
into account. So I think you just pick three things and see where they fall on the list.
Okay, fair enough.
What
That
There's
sounds
one
good
more
to me.
thing though we need to figure out, which is what happens if you pick something that's not on the list of the top however much we find.
Um,
Like does it like I assume you have to assign some higher value to it, but is it like the maximum value of the list? Like if we found top 10, you get 11, you get 10, you get 100. Like what should that count as?
sure, I see. Maybe the first metric is, well, I was gonna say the first metric is if you pick three things on the list and I only pick two things on the list, then you win regardless of the placement. But then if I pick one, two, and then random not thing, and you picked like eight, nine, and 10 of the top 10, it still kind of feels like I did a better job, right?
Right. Plus, we still have to figure out what the answer to this question is in case we both pick, two on and one off. And,
Yes.
well, I guess in that case it wouldn't matter either because
The if they're different number of things on the list, then they cancel out. No, if they're the same
if they're
number
the
of things on
same,
the
they
list between
cancel
you and
out.
me, they cancel out.
It's different. If it's
So
different,
it's
is when we
different
need
number
to
of things on
care.
the list is
So
what
that actually is
matters.
an option. We could just say, if one person gets fewer things on the list, but I agree with your point. 1, 2, and off the list is probably better than 8, 9, and 10. So maybe we should just
Right.
assign like, you know, 11. Like let's say we only ever care about the top 10, and 11 is assigned to anything that's outside the top 10. How does
Okay,
that
so
sound?
what's the 1, 2, and 11 would give you
14.
14,
And 8, 9, and 10 would be
which
way
is
higher than that.
it would be, yeah, but what I'm saying is it would be equivalent to having guessed
2, 3, and 9, 2, 4, and 8, 2, 5, and 7, any number of combinations.
2, 5, and 7. I guess what I'm saying is like, can we come up with an example that vibes wise feels right? And I think 2, 5, and 7 is a pretty fair one. Like you got something good, you got something average, you got something kind of on the bottom of the list versus you got the two best things and then not even close. Those feel sort of the same.
Okay, so we'll just say outside the top 10 counts as 11.
Yeah. And if that tends to produce bad outcomes, we can revisit
Sure.
the scoring, but I think the
Sure.
idea is good.
Okay. All right. I think then the symmetry, couldn't think of that word. I was going to say symmetricy or whatever. The symmetry of all the games has been
Symmetricity.
addressed. So maybe let's go through the games. Okay, so let's
Yeah.
delete this.
Yeah.
And let's go through the games and kind of hear what our thoughts are on them.
Okay.
So first is Wikipedia Hunt. What are your thoughts on Wikipedia Hunt?
I like playing Wikipedia Hunt, and it's not like the worst thing to listen to, but it's not a very good podcast game. So if the metric that we're trying to grade things by is do we like it, then I like it.
Hmm.
If it's do we want to enhance the listener experience a little bit, then maybe we can alter this somehow.
So I think we want to care about both factors.
Sure.
Factor one is how much fun do we have? Factor two is how interesting is it to listen to? I mean,
Sure.
because not many people listen to this podcast, how much fun we have, I think, is actually a significant factor. So as long as it's so, like in this situation where it's like okay to listen to and fun to do,
Yeah.
to me, like I mean, I think I like where would you rank it, like roughly, without going through everything, but just like gut feeling, what quadrant do you rank it in among all 10 games here or 11 games here?
I feel like it's somewhere in the middle third. It's not like top tier in both categories, but to me it's one of the more fun ones to play. I like playing
Sure.
Wikipedia Hunt.
So I kind of feel like let's keep it for now. If we
Yeah,
come to the end and we're like, well, we didn't pick anything to change, and we have a lot of ideas, maybe that we could come back to that. But I think there's
sure.
going to be other ones that I'm going to want to change more than this. So let's leave it.
Okay.
Is there anything about it that we would want to change?
About the way that it works, I think
Yes.
starting from random articles with a shared target is a pretty good system for that. The
Mm-hmm.
only thing that maybe we could do better is doing the same random article to the target. But I one of the more fun things on the listener side to me is at the end we tend to say the path that we've
Mm-hmm.
taken, and it's kind of fun to see these like random things kind of converge in a direction toward the thing.
I also agree that we shouldn't start from the same random article because I feel like part of the thing is you're talking about what you're doing, and if you do that, then you're giving away way too much information to your
We
opponent.
just
Like,
yeah say the things that we did, and you can
um,
chase each other. Yeah,
to me, the biggest bad thing about Wikipedia Hunt is it's hard to narrate. Essentially, like you can kind of say what you're doing, but then like when does the other person talk? And
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's is there a way that we could improve that? Like have some kind of like, all right, you're just gonna talk the entire time for this one, and we'll alternate, or is the system that we have now fine, and we should just keep going with it?
I think it's fine for the way the game is played. One thing we could consider is instead of racing in time, we could try and minimize the number of links we click. In which case, we could take turns clicking links.
I feel like it's much more exciting and better to listen to if you're racing in time. So
Yeah,
I think
I
we should leave.
agree.
I think we should
Let's
leave
leave it
it.
alone. Yeah.
All right. Next one is 10 questions. What's your thought about 10 questions?
10 questions is a little weird. I feel like we could just make it 20 questions, to be honest. This is an asymmetric game, by the way. Did we consider that at all?
Oh,
Or
you're right. No,
do
we
we
didn't.
play it both ways?
Okay. I mean, first of all, I actually think that one of the weaknesses of 10 questions is that it's too long. Like,
Sure.
so I definitely wouldn't want to make it 20 questions. Um,
Okay.
like the problem is like it's actually okay in the beginning, but once you get to like question 7, you're usually sometimes you're at the point where it's like, okay, I have like 10 things that it could be and I just need to narrow it down and that's fine. But
Yeah.
sometimes you're at the point where it's like I've eliminated every possibility I can think of and I just need to
Right.
sit here and try and think of more things that it could be or how my reasoning has gone wrong.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
so
That's a good point.
my inclination is to kind of replace this one if we can. I don't think it's bad, but it's definitely one of my it's like to me it's like lower third to play and lower third to listen to is kind of how I feel about it.
Sure. I think I tend to agree with you. I think the one thing in favor of 10 questions that comes to mind for me is having listened to the game we played with Joel, where I was just asking random things up until the very end, and then I guessed correctly that it was hyena. That's a pretty legendary Joel the game moment, in
That's
my
true, but
opinion.
that something like that can happen with a lot of games. Like it doesn't have
Yeah.
to that's not specific to this game. All right, I'm
Yeah,
gonna highlight it.
not trying to brag too hard, but that was pretty incredible.
Strictly,
And
that was just an opportunity for you to brag.
yeah, I think that one could be replaced. Surely we can come up with a better idea, even a better like thing guessing idea
Yeah.
in some sense.
Okay, let's. We already talked about how we want to replace movie, true or false. Let's talk about concentration. What's your thought about concentration?
Concentration is quick. I think that's a good strength, and it's like well defined, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can just do it, and then you've done it.
Yeah, I think this is good to listen to and mid to play,
Yeah.
mid to bad to play. I actually don't think it's that fun, but it's fine. Like I don't dislike it or anything like that.
Yeah.
Um, but I agree those things that you said it has going for it is probably enough to keep it in my. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's in like the next tier up of like I would find it more enjoyable if we could replace it somehow, but it's not one of the ones that like should be replaced.
Right. Okay. Anything about it that we would want to change?
I don't think so. I don't think there's really all that much we could. I
Yeah.
think we've been doing a pretty good job of like honor system. Oh, I hesitated or whatever.
Yeah.
There's not
I
any
think that's fine.
disputes
I
to.
agree. All right,
So
let's go to the prices right but not prices.
yeah,
Um,
this is like top tier gameplay for me.
I agree. I don't think we need to say too much about it, except this is like one of the things that I kind of listening back wanted to change.
Mhm.
Can we remove the going over loses thing? I wish we would just guess and whoever's closer wins. Because I feel like the going over loses causes you to try and make your guess worse for the sake of just making sure you don't go over, and I think that's actually less fun.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. When you first said it, I was like, no, then it's not The Price is Right anymore. But The Price is Right is kind of dumb for that, right? Like you just want to be more correct. You
Well,
don't
The
have to be
Price is Right is also
strategic.
a game show, so there's
Right,
like intentionally strategy introduced into it.
right.
Whereas I feel like that's not what we're looking for this game.
It's more fun and interesting to guess correctly than it is to play strategically. So,
Yes. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is there a way we can assess accuracy besides just raw difference? And the reason that I say that is like if the answer's a million and you guess 1, you'll beat someone who guessed 2 million even though 2 million feels much closer
mm,
than 1. And I wonder if
okay,
there's like some way we could assess some kind of percentage related thing that we could assess how close you were other than just like literally what was the difference between the actual answer and your answer.
sure. Um, that's a very interesting example that I think really highlights the problem here. Because yeah, 2 million kind of feels more correct than one. One, I guess the answer in that case to make that feel better would be like to take the log of the guesses and the answer and then the difference. I don't know if that's true in every scenario. Like, would you guessing if the answer was a million and I guessed 1,000 and you guessed 10 million, who feels more right?
They both feel equally wrong to me, or roughly equally wrong.
Sure.
One doesn't stand out as being more obviously wrong. Do you agree
Okay.
with that?
I feel like 10 million is maybe more correct,
Yeah,
but
10 million.
like
Yeah.
barely.
Well, 10.
And
I
I guess
mean,
that's would be the conclusion you would come to if you took the log. So, do we just take the log and then the difference?
the difference between the logs of your answer and the actual answer.
Correct.
Okay, I think that's probably right. Let me just think. Is there any scenario where that would give you a dumb result? Um, Now, okay, here's a possibility. If the answer was 1 million and I guessed 999,999 and you guessed 1,000,001, those seem like exactly the same distance, but I assume the logs
Hmm.
would give us different answers there, right?
It would, yeah. I think 1,000,001 would edge it out just slightly.
if the answer was, and I assume that it gets exacerbated, like if the answer is 5 million, you guess 6 million, I guess 4 million.
Both
Like,
pretty much the same, but 6 million would
would
win for
win.
some
So,
reason.
right. So, is there a better solution that can solve that?
Hmm. This feels very vibes based. I don't know if a function exists that does this correctly.
Okay, how about this? I mean, the situations that I'm talking about, um, probably won't matter. Like, it would be very rare that we would be essentially the same distance off in opposite directions. So
Yeah.
why don't we just say the log thing for now, and if we find that it's becoming a problem, for some reason, like we're getting weird results from that, then maybe we can reevaluate. Does that make sense? Does
Sure.
that seem good?
Yeah. Feels fine. Let's give it a shot.
So it should be absolute value of log of answer minus log of guess. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Guess the movie. What do you feel? How do you feel about guess the movie?
I think Guess the Movie is a good game, but I think we're giving the wrong clues.
Why do you say that?
I don't feel like it's narrowed down very much, and then all of a sudden it's narrowed down a lot more. I don't I It doesn't feel like a gradual narrowing in on something to me.
So
Maybe I'm
I'm just gonna talk through how I see it.
yeah,
Genre. I can guess a movie in the genre. I have no expectation that I'm gonna be right. So it's
sure.
like, and that's how I would kind of want the first clue to give me.
Right.
Year, that gives me some sense of what the movie might be. Um, the genre and the year together, I feel like gives me some chance of getting it, although certainly not guaranteed. Like obviously depends upon like either it's like horror movie in 1983, in which case I have no idea. I'm just kind of guessing like general 80s horror movies, or it's
Mhm.
like animated movie in 2019. Yeah, so I feel like the second clue narrows it to like a level where I could guess it, but it's certainly not giving it away. Top two
Right. It's
actors, if you know the actors, gives it away. This might be one that we definitely want to change because it's very swingy. Like if you know the actors, it's very powerful, but if you don't know the actors, it's essentially nothing. Um,
yeah, that's
and
maybe what I'm kind of getting at is like we start to narrow in and then all of a sudden you can get a fact that's just like okay, well Jack Black only made like one movie in 2019, so if he's in it, it's that one.
uh huh. Yeah, and I feel like by clue, we hardly ever get to clue four.
No. I think we need to just ditch top two actors or maybe we put it like
It's
between 5 and 6 or something. Just like put
the
it
pro-
later maybe.
the problem is here's the biggest problem to me, which is that most of the clues um are very like after setting, like all the clues or many of the clues are very subjective, like general plot points. That's so subjective to say. um well, actually, I guess that's really in general movie fact are really the only what.
General movie fact is probably a pretty bad.
Well,
That could also be very
we've
swingy.
never gotten to that clue as far as I can remember. So
Yeah, I think you're right.
what would be a better third clue? See, top two actors I think is pretty good, unless, well, no, yeah. All right, what would be a better third clue? I guess is what I would ask. What would be a better third clue?
Um, does this might not solve the swinginess, but instead of top two actors, just like any actor? No, that seems really
Why?
bad.
Yeah.
That wouldn't give any information probably.
Okay, say
Genre,
a movie.
year, the Pirates of the Caribbean, whatever the first one's called. Curse of the Black Pearl, I think.
Right. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia page to see what kinds of things are more like concrete that you could say, but aren't that would actually be helpful.
Right. Director doesn't help at all.
Do you
You
feel
could
like? Go ahead.
I was gonna say you could say something like movie studio. Like if I said this was a Disney movie.
For this one, that would help, but like, if I told you another movie was like Regency Films
That's a
or
good point.
Walden Media, like what was that gonna 20th
You've
Century
made both of
Fox?
those up. Those aren't real.
Those are both real, by the way.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it would not help for anything beyond like Disney or Pixar or something.
I honestly don't really feel like there's a better answer than top two actors. So if you really feel like this is a problem, maybe this is one we want to change.
I think setting is better than top two actors is the next thing because it's more like top two actors you get it or you don't, but setting if I were to say for this, if you were to say something like I don't know, how would you not say the Caribbean?
Well, you would have
Boats,
to say the Caribbean. Like,
I guess.
yeah. Okay, so wait, let me so if you look at plot, where's plot? Plot should tell you, okay, early 18th century and the Caribbean would be the plot, would be the setting. Let me look up. Let's test one. Let me look up a movie, which is going to be, uh, just trying to think of a random movie that you've seen. Okay, I keep thinking of this movie, so I'm just gonna pick it, even though I'm not sure how it will. All right. So, clue one. This is a science fiction action film.
Um, Tron,
No. Clue two is released in 1999.
1999. It's The Matrix.
Yes, good job. That was too easy.
I only recently watched The Matrix, like within the past couple of years.
So apparently, it takes place in 1999 in an unnamed city. See, that would be really unhelpful if you didn't already know it was The Matrix.
Yeah. I mean, it would tell you it was a city. You could think about movies with cities in them instead of like Star Wars or something where it's in space.
Uh huh.
Or maybe Star Trek is a better.
Okay.
'Cause Star Wars has cities.
All right. Here, let me pick
Star
another
Trek
one.
probably has cities too.
I don't know for sure if you've seen this one, but you've definitely at least heard of it.
Sure.
This is a musical romantic comedy drama. Wow, that's a lot of genres.
La La Land.
Wow, you guessed it on the first try.
I'm so good at this game. How come this doesn't happen during the real thing? What's going on?
All right, this is going to be harder. This is a science fiction action film.
Okay. Science fiction action film, The Matrix 2.
No.
Okay.
2015.
2015, that's too late for Inception. 2015. What came out in 2015? Is it like an Avengers movie or something?
Is that a guess?
Yeah, that's my guess. That's a bad
No,
guess.
it's not correct. Okay.
Um,
It takes place in. The location is Isla Nublar, and it roughly takes place in 2015. I think slightly before 2015. I guess it takes place in. Oh no, it takes place in 2015 in Isla Nublar.
Isla Nublar. Why does that sound familiar? Science fiction action movie. Isla Nublar. What is that? Um, I have no idea. Avatar 2.
And the top two actors are Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard.
Okay, Chris Pratt. Oh, this is Jurassic World, right?
Yes, good job.
Okay. That's why that sounded familiar.
Do you feel like that was better having the setting before the characters or the actors?
I think so. If you had told me Chris Pratt and whoever else in
Right, so that's what made
2015,
you
I
get it.
probably would have got it at 3.
All right, I'm willing to say let's swap those.
Yeah.
Say set. We'll do setting third. I really like this game, so I don't want to remove it.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I think it's a good game. I just that
Um,
specifics of it felt a little off.
it's possible that this won't make much of a difference. Like obviously that one example, it did make a difference.
Yeah.
But it's possible that the setting will just be as, yeah, I don't know, as swingy as the actors. So why don't we just try it with that? I think it's fine to leave.
Sure.
Let's go to Hangman. What's your thought?
I think the change that we made earlier is good with me. I can't think of anything better than that.
Agree.
Except
What about tongue? Oh, go ahead.
except if we rather than 6 letters or fewer, do we want to say a fixed number of letters?
I'm fine with this. Do you have a particular reason you would want it to be a particular number of letters?
6 letters gives you more opportunities to be correct. So like picking a 4-letter word seems strategically advantageous compared to a 6-letter word as like a strict rule.
Well, there's fewer options though. Like as you get letters, there's fewer other things that could fill the other letters.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. That's probably the balance.
I mean, maybe we'll play this a lot of times and decide that it is the best strategy to try and pick a 4-letter word. So I think that's a valid point.
Yeah.
But I would say let's wait for that to become a problem before we change it. Is kind of what I think.
I'm just going to start picking 2-letter words all the time.
Well, that's definitely a bad strategy. S-T. Okay. What about tongue twisters?
Tongue twisters is pretty good. I think it's one of our trickiest scoring systems with both the time and then the 1-second penalty for making a mistake.
Yeah, I think the 1-second penalty has worked well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost seems. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, it feels almost random who wins it. Like it doesn't feel like. When I listen back, I guess it is somewhat more like, it did seem like that person did it better, but
Yeah.
it almost doesn't sound like, oh, clearly that person did it better and they should win.
Sure.
I don't know. I think this is fine though. I think this is fun to listen to, and fun to do and quick. So I think I'm fine to leave it.
I think one of the best things about it, this is just a comment, not necessarily encouraging any sort of change, but as the listener, whoever goes first, it's just funny to hear the whatever random sentence that we've both been looking at for a moment there and like, getting ourselves ready for, and then it's just like a nonsense phrase.
Yeah.
We're just stumbling over it. All right. So yeah, tongue twisters I think is good as is. Family Feud, I think the
We just reworked that.
discussion we had before is good. Quick memorize. I liked at the beginning, like the very beginning when we started playing this, that we would think of a thing to memorize. I don't like that we just go back to the book every time.
I agree, but I honestly feel like it's not that interesting to listen to no matter what we're memorizing because the listener hasn't seen it, so they just
Right.
hear us like kind of alternating reciting a thing that's not that interesting, and it's only ever like 5 to 10 words. It's not like they're actually hearing the thing.
Sure.
So, and I feel like it's mid to play. Like it's okay. It's not super fun or anything like that. It's not bad.
Yeah.
So my inclination is to kind of maybe replace this one. What do you feel like?
I feel like I'm good at it. So I don't want to replace it. But I do agree with you that it's probably like bottom tier listening. Especially, I think what would improve it significantly is if the listener knew the correct answer as we were going along. Like
Yeah.
if they could judge as we were saying things whether or not we were right, that would add some additional drama. Especially, I don't know that this has ever happened, but if it did, that we got away with saying something wrong,
Oh.
that I think that would be kind of a cool, like, as the listener to notice that happening. So
Yeah.
the thing that could be done is as we do quick memorize, the text of what we're memorizing is shown. But do I want to keep quick memorize so much that I add editing work to Joel the Game episodes? I don't know. What do you think about that? Does that improve the listening experience enough to
I think
change your
that
mind
would
about keeping
improve the
it?
listening experience. Um, does it improve it enough? That I really don't know. And I think it's essentially comes down to exactly what you just said. Like, if if you feel like you want to put that editing effort in, I think that's enough to save it essentially.
Yeah.
But if you don't really feel like it's worth it, we can just replace it.
Here's the other problem as I've now been a frequent listener to the podcast, I'm never like not doing something else, right? So having
Yeah,
words on the screen maybe isn't that great of an
sure.
improvement because then you've got to like look at your phone or whatever for that moment. So maybe it's not good enough. Maybe it needs to go.
All right, let's highlight it, and then I think we should keep who has the highest card. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Great. Okay, so we've highlighted three games to replace, which are 10 questions, movie true or false, and quick memorize. So let's see if we can replace them. Let's see if we can come up with any ideas for other games that we could do.
Yes.
Um, Now, a lot of our games, including two of the three that we're replacing, are essentially just guessing facts. So I'm wondering if we could come up with games that are not that. Um,
As in you want a non-trivia game rather than a better trivia game because the
I mean, maybe
problem is the trivia
we could have
itself.
since we are removing two trivia games, we could maybe put one in. But I just feel like for variety's sake, if possible, it would be nice if we could get like more divert like games like Concentration or Wikipedia Hunt or Tongue Twisters are pretty like unique
Sure.
games. Like they're so like we already have The Price is Right, the Guess the Movie, the Family Feud. So we already have three other kind of fact guessing games.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, that's
so
a
I'm
fair
wondering.
point.
So I'm wondering. So my goal would be kind of to have no more than one of these three be replaced with a fact guessing game if we can. If not, I mean, fact guessing games
Okay.
are fun, and that's obvious why we do them because they're interesting to listen to and interesting to do and easy. So like if
Yeah.
we can't think of any good ones other than those, then that's fine. But it's just kind of like my aim.
Sure. Um okay. I get that reasoning. I think a strength of fact guessing is that they tend to be on the better end of the listener experience spectrum. Um just
Okay,
wanted to say that, but I don't know that I have a follow up to it. What's up?
I agree with you, and the first idea that I came up with was immediately a fact guessing game. Um,
Perfect.
so do you remember when we did Jeopardy? Um, there was we basically pulled real Jeopardy questions from online. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if maybe there's something where it's like uh, we each ask the other, all five questions in a particular, or there's six, five, all five questions in a particular Jeopardy category, um, and see how many like there we have to get two or something, or whoever gets more wins. Actually, that's probably better. Does that sound something interesting to explore or not that interesting?
That's an interesting idea. I think when it comes to Jeopardy, it could like literal Jeopardy, it could be pretty hit or miss. Like if it's a category that we know something about, we might do decently, but if it's like something that we have no clue and you're just like going 0 for 5 in a category, that doesn't sound.
So here's what I would propose. I'm in the Jeopardy archives now, and
Okay.
it lists episodes essentially, and you can click on an episode and see the categories in that episode.
Okay.
So what if we just clicked on a random episode and the person was allowed to choose which category in the episode they wanted to run?
Oh, that's a good idea. So
So
what's can you put a link in the doc so I can
yes.
go to where you're seeing? I think this
Uh,
category, this mini game should be called Jeopardy, by the way.
It's in J archive. It's the J archive link here.
J.
So like in one episode that I've pulled up from 1994. Wow, the categories are science, Charlie Chaplin films, buildings, USA, The Fourth, and by the numbers.
Okay, let me try and run by the numbers.
Okay, $100. It's the number of days in September, April, June, or November.
What is 30?
Correct. 200. Having increased to 15 stripes by 1975, the American flag returned to this many in 1818.
What is 13?
Correct. 300. In their number one hit, Question Mark and the Mysterians wanted you to cry, 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 cry this many tears.
What is 4?
It was 96.
Okay.
$400. It's slang for a piano.
What is 88?
Correct. 500.
Huh.
In the charge of the Light Brigade, it's the number of soldiers who rode into the Valley of Death.
I feel like this is something I've heard before. What is 100?
It was 600.
Okay.
And
So that wasn't
I'm
that
ju-
wasn't bad.
Yeah,
I
and
think
now
being
as I'm
able to
scrolling
pick the
down,
category.
Yeah, now as I'm scrolling down, there's also the double Jeopardy categories. So you could have 12 categories to choose from.
Sure.
And I would say maybe. Do you think double Jeopardy's harder, or no? Probably not harder. So
I don't think they're harder. I think they're just worth more.
Right. So what if we set like a monetary thing that you had to reach instead of a number of questions you had to get right?
Oh,
So,
that's
like,
interesting.
You have to get, I don't know, $500 in single Jeopardy or $1,000 in double Jeopardy. So you could get that all by getting the top question, or you could get like the 2 and 300, or the 1 and 400, or some combination of.
Is this one we want to make symmetric and just say whoever ends the round with the most money?
Oh, yes, that's much better. Yes.
Okay.
Cool. I like this. Do you like this?
I like this.
Okay. So let's put this in 2 instead of, or actually, which one do we want to remove the most? I feel like 10 questions is probably the one I want to remove the most. Do you agree?
I agree. I think in order 10 questions, then movie true or false, then quick memorize for me.
Okay. Jeopardy. Pick. Each person gets to pick a category from a random episode. Most dollars adjusted wins. Meaning, if somebody picks a double Jeopardy category, they don't get an advantage.
Right. Okay. What if somebody's chosen category contains the daily double? Do we just give the amount of money it would have been?
Yeah, whatever the daily double replaced.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Cool.
I like
I
it.
think that should be fun.
Yeah.
All right. What else?
I need
You
to-
have any- you haven't- go ahead.
I need to say this idea so that it stops being in my head. I think it would be really funny and fun, but also bad listener experience if we played a game of bullet chess.
Also, you would win way more often, I think.
I have no idea if like chess skill matters in bullet for like me, but Okay. That idea is gone. I can stop thinking about it. Um, are there other games of skill that we are evenly matched in? Is there any way to include something like that that happens quickly?
Right, and that can translate to an audio medium too.
Right.
How about this? This is not a game of skill. Do you remember this game?
Pun intended. I remember the existence of this game. I don't super remember how it works.
So, I have almost...
Now I
I've
remember
played
how it works.
Yeah, I've played this game so few times because I
Yeah.
don't have people to play it with.
Yeah.
But it is... So for the listeners, it's called Pun Intended. We played this at Katie's house. This is the one time I remember us playing. I feel like we might have played more than once.
Yep.
But essentially it contains a card with a letter and then a bunch of puns with a blank. Okay, now as I'm saying this, clearly there's a problem because I have all the cards.
Yeah, I would have to also buy this game, which isn't the end of the world. And it did make me think, like, is there a game that we could both, like, this could be the game that we choose, but it could just be like a game that we both buy to use in this way.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the Pun Intended one?
I thought it was a pretty good game.
Yeah, so for the listeners, just to round it out. So it's a letter, so all the answers start with this letter, and then it has 6 puns, which are blanks, with a blank, like, where you have to fill in the word with the letter. So, like, for example, this one is A, and when the race car driver retired, he started writing his own blank biography.
Auto.
Exactly. So it has 6 different puns like that, and in the actual game, which is, I assume, how we would do it as well, you have a certain amount of time to get as many of those puns as you can.
Right.
As I'm saying this, let me just take one step back to Jeopardy. We need a tiebreaker.
If we're in a tie, we go to a final Jeopardy.
What the problem is, that's unlikely to be definitive because we'll probably both get it wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Or there's like a 50% chance that we both get it wrong or we both get it right.
Right.
It is a creative idea, though.
What would we do?
What if we were timed as we were going through it, and whoever did it faster would win?
Yeah, I like that.
Great. Okay. Now, coming back to this Pun Intended one. So, essentially...
Actually, we do need to go back. One comment on that is presumably the clues will take a different amount of time to read.
Yeah, but honestly, like, I honestly don't expect it to be a tie that often. I'm kind of fine with that.
Okay.
Are you fine with that?
I mean, if it, like, screws me sometime, it'll be good content. So I'll be, like, upset, but in a it doesn't matter way.
Well, do you want to try and come up with something better? We could, if that is actually upsetting to you, we could come up with something better.
Let's say that we'll think about it, and then we won't actually think about it, and then we'll end up with this solution.
Okay, fine. Okay, now coming back to Pun Intended. So, like,
yeah.
Are you willing to buy this game, essentially, is...
Sure. Let me make sure it's
There
not,
is
like,
another option,
ridiculously expensive. What's that?
which is I could just take pictures of a bunch of the cards. And that would that would A, allow you to play with it, but also B, I wouldn't have to have the game with me. Like 90% of the time I'm at home when I'm recording Joel the Game, but sometimes I'm not. So I wouldn't have to have this game with me in order to do a Joel the Game episode. I don't think that would be much of an issue, but it's at least
No, that is a fair point, actually, that having a separate object, I mean, like, we have to have a deck of cards, but that's pretty ubiquitous. But having a separate specific game does seem a little counter to how the rest of the things
I don't
work.
know. A lot of our games have a link that we have to go to do them. I don't feel like this is that different from that.
Well, I guess my point is though that those links are just like on the internet, accessible wherever. Is there a website that has pun intended style?
I don't know, but my point is, if I took pictures of the cards, that would be one. That would be essentially the same thing.
Okay. I mean, yeah, if you want to take pictures of the cards, put them all in the Joel the Game or Joel the Podcast Google Photos account or whatever, and then we just like pull up a random one to use anytime we need one. That seems fine.
Cool.
And honestly, probably you take a picture of 20 cards and that gets us through many, many episodes because we're rarely playing the game.
Well,
And
we'll probably play it 1 to 3 times each time, and each time we'll need to use 2 cards, one for each of us. Um. So, but maybe like, yeah, 50 or something would get
yeah,
us through.
yeah, I think
Yeah, I
that
don't
would
need.
get us.
The point is, there's like multiple hundreds of cards in here, and I don't need to take a picture of all of them.
Correct.
Um,
We will get a lot of mileage out of not that much picture taking effort. On
Plus,
your
because of
part.
how often we record and play, we could probably reuse cards
That's true.
over time.
Yes.
Like, I listened to an episode of Joel. Like, I put this in the notes. If you look at the episode catalog, in the last episode of Joel the Game that used the old rules, when we were still doing Guess the Song, I used multiple songs that I had used in previous episodes, and neither of us noticed.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. So
All right,
yeah, that's
so
that's
let's
a
say-
good point. We probably could have a total of like 4 pictures and be fine.
Yeah. Now, pun intended. What is a good tiebreaker for this one? Oh, so let's figure out what the time is. 1 minute. So let's start with 1 minute, and if that's too long, like it's too easy to guess all 6 in a minute, we can shorten it, or we just want snappier gameplay. What
So-
would be a good tiebreaker for this one?
This could also be a tiebreaker on time. Just rather than a 1 minute pun intended session, it's a like 1 to 2 card session. How quickly did you do that?
Oh yeah, it's just one card. Who can do it faster? And
Or
I
who
would say
gets
you can also.
who gets
Go
the
ahead.
most correct out of their card? Tiebreaker, who did it faster?
Yeah, but it's untimed essentially.
Untimed, yes.
Yeah, pun intended. Untimed. Who gets the most correct? Or it is timed, but there's no time limit.
Yeah.
Yes. Who gets the most correct? Tiebreaker fastest. Okay,
Perfect.
cool. And then we have one more to replace.
All right. Is there Now I've got to look around. Is there something that I have or could do to generate? Because if you're going to be like managing the pun intended stuff, is there an equivalent thing that I can be responsible for? What else would be interesting to do? Are you looking for something more skill based, more mostly random?
I honestly don't care that much about that. I more, as long as it is fun and interesting to listen to and quick and decisive. Those are like the features that I'm looking for. So
Sure.
I don't care that much whether it's skill based or random or whatever.
Okay.
Is there any? I don't have any specific idea, but maybe this will jog something. Is there anything
Sure.
we could do related to drawing?
That's a pretty good genre of ideas. I think the biggest problem is going to be the subjectivity of the drawing. If it's like who can draw a better this or something like that. Or if it's a game like is it Pictionary where like somebody is drawing and then the other person is guessing requires cooperation between us when it really needs to be
Correct. Yeah,
competition.
that was the first thing I thought of, which obviously is not would not work, which is why I said
Yeah,
don't have a specific idea.
sure. I do like that. Let's see if we can search for like games that
The
involve
other problem with
drawing.
drawing is that it doesn't translate great to an audio medium without additional editing to put the drawings in the video.
Maybe that could be a Patreon exclusive. We have an album of all of our art. Maybe we could auction them off.
We could sell them on our website.
Yes, perfect. Um, competitive games, competitive drawing. Can I just Google that?
Okay, here's
Competitive
another.
drawing games.
No, that's such a bad idea. Um,
Okay.
what?
I found Let's Draw.it, which has some little mini games. I don't think any of them are really that good for us.
So here's another one unrelated to drawing. And this is a game that we originally talked about. I do not remember why we didn't do it. Um, but it's a game called Ghost. Do you remember us talking about this?
Yeah. Why didn't we do that? Does it take I think it could take a long time to resolve, right? Because you need to like run out of words.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's probably. Well, I don't know exactly what you mean by that. If you want, I mean, for time purposes, you could just give everyone a 30-second time limit on their turn,
Sure.
um, or something. But it's not that interesting to listen to. Oh, this is why we rejected it. Because when it's your turn, you don't want to like narrate your thought process because that helps your opponent.
Yeah.
So it kind of, yeah, that's why we didn't do it.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Okay. All of the games that I'm finding are just basically Pictionary for drawing. What other little tasks could we make into a game?
Is there something fun we could make out of this? Sounds really boring when I say it, but is there a fun way we could do it that's fun? Like doing mental math.
Ooh, I thought you were going to say something along the lines of a spelling bee. I think both of those are not exciting sounding, but potentially there's a twist in there. Mental math. I feel like the mental math game is almost the well, in some cases at least, the Price is Right. Like where you can do something to estimate
Well,
compared to
not.
just
I mean, to
guessing.
me, when I said mental math, like, have you ever played Jackbox games? I'm sure you have.
Yes.
Jackbox. There's one called Trivia Murder Party. Have you ever played that one?
I think so.
So in Trivia Murder Party, if you lose, if you get the question wrong, you play a little mini game to see if you die. And one of the mini games is it literally just gives you like a bunch of simple math problems, like 7 plus 4. It
Yeah.
just gives you them over and over again, and you have to do more than everyone else to survive. If someone does more than you, then you die. Like something like that is what I was thinking, but obviously that's bad for multiple reasons.
Right.
Um, so like, yeah, I don't think there's anything great with mental math.
It's
Spelling bee.
it's not
Go
I
ahead.
neither of those are really good to talk through your process either. Because with
Yeah.
mental math, you're slowing yourself down by talking. With spelling bee, there's not a lot of like interesting thought and deliberation to discuss. You're just like, I think an A comes next, or maybe it's an E. I'm gonna guess
Right. Well,
A.
that's kind of exactly like quick memorize too.
Yeah. How would we do that? Would we just have a list of spelling bee words and pick random ones, or because I
Well,
words are vastly different in difficulty? I think that could be pretty luck based, which
I
is
honestly
fine.
think the first thing that came to my mind was to do the same format as we do for Quick Memorize,
Yeah.
where we alternate the letters. But
Yeah.
then I was like, Quick Memorize is just better than that. So um, I'm not sure that would be any improvement.
Sure. Okay, real
What?
quick,
Mm-hmm.
we're at like an hour 20,
Oh my
and
gosh.
yeah, I
We
know.
haven't even talked about a lot of stuff. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Leave Quick Memorize for now.
Sure.
Let's spend 10 minutes talking about the last aspects of the game, because I think this was the larger aspect of the game, was the mini games.
Sure.
And so let's talk about modifiers. We'll finish by an hour 30. Let's talk
Okay.
about modifiers. What do you think about our current set of modifiers?
That's a big question. I like the hope
What do you
that
think
have.
about King plus 10 to winner?
Plus 10 to winner is good if you're the winner. I
Wow.
feel like
A plus.
we need the modifiers. Okay, here's the question. Should the modifiers average out to be like roughly balanced, as in there are as many good things as there are kind of like bad things for each player? Or should winning the mini
like-
games generally give you an advantage even in the modifiers, but the modifier can sometimes save you?
wait, winning in the minigames gives you an advantage. I don't understand what that means.
So
The minigames don't
essentially-
affect the modifier.
So what I'm saying is, should the modifiers tend to be something that helps the winner, or like more often than not are something that helps the winner, so that winning mini games?
I don't think so.
Okay.
To me, the point of the modifier is to add some like randomness into the game,
Yes.
and so like, and some excitement to, I won, but
But
you know what happens.
yeah.
So like, to me, like that's why it's great that we have winners and losers swap for Queen. Like that is super exciting that that's in the game,
Yeah.
because you can always kind of hope for it,
Right.
and when it happens, it's kind of crazy.
Right.
But it's also good that, like, 80% of the modifiers are not that swingy, because that's no fun either. If it's like, oh, I won, but it doesn't even matter because the modifiers are just gonna like give my
It's
opponent
totally
a bunch of
random.
points as well.
Yeah.
So I think what we want to discuss is this. Here's the points to discuss. Let me narrow it down. First is plus 10 to winner. Like King, Queen, and Jack are like are interesting modifiers essentially.
Yes. Yes.
And Ace and King of Spades. So the question is, is plus 10 to winner interesting enough to be an interesting modifier? Is random point selection interesting enough to be an interesting modifier? And then the last thing to me is, do we want to still have 2 through Queen of Spades be nothing? Is that good? Should we have it be something but still something minor? Those are the points to discuss in my opinion.
Okay.
Any thoughts jump out for you from everything that I just said?
Can I start on maybe the opposite end of the spectrum, which is the common modifiers? Because
Yes.
I'm looking, we've got plus 5 points to loser, which is nice because you've got a chance, even if you lost, at getting a few points. Round points gained to nearest 10. I don't like this one because there's a pretty high chance that it doesn't do anything. Or there's a...
I disagree with that, because it's rare that the points is like 10 is and 20 are the only possible values where that
guess-
does nothing.
I guess let me look at the distribution of 1, 3, 3, 5, 5, 5, 5, 7, 8. So there's 4 10s and 1 20 out of... Where does it tell me how many things I've got selected? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So like nearly a third of the point values, that wouldn't do anything to 3 plus...
The problem is
Only
there's
3
not a
of
lot of
them round down. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them round up. So 8 round up, 5 don't round, 3 round down.
I kind of
Maybe
think
it's better than I
yeah,
thought.
yeah, like to me, like we didn't want to just put point +5 to winner here because the winner's already getting points.
Right.
But this is like close to that because, like you pointed out, like half of it is giving points to the winner. But it's also not that swingy. Like no matter what the rounding is, it's going to be 5 or less.
Okay.
So that's kind of why I feel like that's actually a pretty decent one.
Sure. Okay, I came in with some hate for this, but I think I've been swayed.
All right, what do you think about +10 to winner
+10 to winner
as a
is
splashy one?
+10 to winner is pretty good. I think the alternate thing that would be interesting to put here is +10 or more to the loser.
Sure. To me, the worst one is random point selection. Um,
I do agree with that actually. Random point selection is like
Especially as a
mildly interesting
splashy
but kind
one.
of cumbersome to deal with, and we have to like regenerate that random number.
Um, so let's. What if we change this to +10 to loser? Do you think that that would be good?
Sure. +10 to winner, winners and losers swap, +10 to loser. Those are all pretty swingy.
Yes, and those are kind of the splashy ones.
Yes. For simplicity, I do like that there is a nothing modifier because I want there to be a chance of just like a good outcome happened for me. Please can I just have that outcome?
Yes,
Yes, there's a chance.
I think that's fine to keep. Okay, so I think that's it for modifiers.
Can we
Then
can we
with
change
go.
this instead of ace king of spades as swap point totals? Can we make that king queen jack? That way we know that king queen and jack are always something
Yes,
flashy.
and so this will be ace through 10 is nothing of spades.
Right.
Yeah, this is
So we've got
weirdly distributed, but whatever.
we've got
Um,
well, there's 3 kings, 3 queens and 3 jacks that do these things. And
well,
then
numeric like number of cards wise, yes, it's nicely distributed. It's just weird that it's like 3 of the kings do one thing and 1 of the kings does something else.
sure. Sure.
I think it's fine to leave though. I don't think we need to change that.
I was gonna say unless we have like a
3 minutes left. The last thing that I wanted to discuss was the way that the points are selected for a round. Which is right now the game is revealed and then you pick the points from your pool of points.
uh-huh.
And the reason that it is this way is originally we were betting points.
Right.
And we were trying to. The problem with that is that you can lose points, and that was just the whole problem because the game was never advancing.
Right.
So this was like our way of having you have some strategy over the points that it's worth without being able to lose points, essentially.
Right.
Just my vibe is that it's kind of. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's not worth it, but it almost sometimes feels like it's not worth it. It's kind of annoying that I have to pick a point value. There is some strategy because it's like, okay, I know I'm good at this game, so I'm going to pick a higher point value or like I'm close to winning or whatever.
Yeah.
But in many times, it feels kind of annoying that I have to pick a point value. And I'm kind of have this thought of what if the points were all just random? What do you think about that? And I'm open to no.
I don't hate it. That's not a bad idea. Like we just have a spinner, right? With different all these point values are just on the spinner. Spin the wheel, that's how many points we're playing for. That way the rounding one still makes sense. Yeah, just as long as it's not playing for the same number of points every time. One thing I do like about being able to pick though is making decisions not just based on which game we're playing, but based on each of our scores. Like if
So
you're
what
at
if it's
95 and I'm at 80, I might want to go for a 20-point game to like knock out in one because the odds are against me otherwise.
so what if it's random by default, but like a certain number of times per game is like 4. Like instead of having this whole big set of points you can choose from, you just have like 1 1, 1 5, 1 10, 1 20. And like 4 times
Oh.
during the game at your choice.
Yeah.
You can be like, I'm going to use one of my specific point selections, and you have to do that before the random value is revealed,
Yes.
but otherwise it's just random.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Okay.
So we pick the game, opt to force a point value, otherwise spin for a point
Right.
value.
And if we forget, it just defaults to the random. Like you
We
forgot
just
and it's
spun
too late.
the
And,
point value, yeah.
which is what we do anyway, but I mean like it's part of built into the game instead of being like, oops, we should have done this thing,
Yeah.
but I forgot.
So this is a logistics thing. This wouldn't actually affect anything, but do we spin before or after playing? Like, do we
We
know what's at
spin-
stake? Or do we just play the game and then we
I
find out?
don't have a
the
strong
reward?
preference, do you?
I feel like knowing what's at stake might be a little bit more interesting.
Okay, before. That's fine with me.
We just have to remember.
All right. My phone says 1:30:34.
Cool.
So Thanks
one
for
last
listening,
thing. One last thing. We were commenting on how the card distributions were weird. All we need to do is make all the aces one of the things, all the kings, all the queens, all the jacks, and then any number.
but that makes
is just
that
based
makes
on suit.
4 numbers.
It does
each
change the
thing instead of 3.
distributions. So if you're not
Yeah.
okay with that, then we won't. do
Okay,
that.
time's up. Thanks for
All right.
listening, everybody. I'm Alex,
I'm Alex.
and this has been our podcast, Joel.
Wait, what's the answer though?